But let's get into the next part of the show, Triller Promotions, man.
Man, let's talk about Triller.
Look, man, this is a damn joke, man. Triller Promotion is a damn joke, dog.
Now, here's the thing. Here's the thing. I don't want to be. I'm gonna be super critical. I'm gonna be super critical. It's just what's gonna happen. Because first off, joke, but I understand thinking outside the box, right? But to kick the damn box down the road and don't even look in it has listen. This the whole promotion was whoever owned Triller. I was calling him Thriller up until I had to spell it. Triller. Whoever owned the promotion, they walked up. The producer came up and said, "Hey man, we got what you call it here. Do you got anything written out? Nah, man, just tell him to do his thing. Hey man, we got Snoop here. What you got? Nah, just tell him to do his thing. That's all they did was tell everybody, hey man,
Do
just
your
got
thing. Talk over each other.
just do your thing. And oh, and then
Awesome.
what was the dude's name? But not we'll come to Oscar. But what was my man's name that was supposed to be like interviewing? Do you know his name?
He's an actual that guy is an actual sports broadcaster, I think. He's a
No,
sports journalist. He's an actual sports journalist. Yeah, the way he talks and the way he puts things together, he's an actual sports journalist. Seriously, he is. He is.
no,
They had Mario up there as the host of the show. He did an okay job, man.
no. Mario Lopez wasn't bad.
Mario Lopez was the only one on the panel that was making sense when it came down to the fights of what they should be doing. I know we're gonna get into Oscar De La Hoya, but I got one thing to say about Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg keeps it original. That is the only thing I like about Snoop. Snoop keeps the whole thing original. He says what is on the top of his mind. It comes out of his mouth, which is actually funny sometimes. Because in the last Triller fight with Mike Tyson, he said it's like two uncles fighting in the backyard.
And
That
that's
thing
what
was
we were
funny.
thinking. And that's what
It
we was
was what we
thinking.
was thinking. Two uncles fighting in the backyard. But from time to time, he said some words, some things that you shouldn't say on TV in that type of environment. But I like that from him. But who did you get the guy's name
No,
that you
I don't
talked
have
about?
his name. Okay, so he went back and he did an interview with Jake Paul. He was like, I don't like Ben Askren. I hope you knock him out. And then he goes into
Oh,
Ben
you talking about
Askren's
Pete
room.
Davidson?
Is that his
You talking
name?
about
Pete
Pete Davidson?
Davidson?
Yeah, you talking about Pete Davidson?
What in the so listen, I knew something wasn't right when Pete Davidson was
Slap
during
boxing
the
or
slap
slap
boxing.
contest
And
or
he's
something.
sitting there, he's like, look, I'm gonna call my manager and fire him. I was like, bro, we didn't want you here anyway. Are you and then he was did you see him? They were cutting to the promotion. My man, not promotion, but to the desk. My man was sitting here trying to be serious, and he was in the background like
Smoking weed, blowing in
and
his
blowing
face.
it in his face. And I'm like,
Yeah,
oh man. You think that nobody on that analyst desk has ever smoked weed before? The way
no,
they were just picking
exactly.
from the bottom of the tree with their weed jokes that they was making.
And Snoop up there got that daggone that fire. He
Snoop
got that
had
fire.
them boys bugging.
Snoop was the only one that knew what he was talking about because he's been on that fire for years now. The one thing I want to say about Pete Davidson is that this guy was wishy washy the whole night.
Oh,
He go into talk to Jake Paul, and Jake Paul got like five other individuals in the same area as him, and he sucks up to Jake Paul as if they're best friends, and he says, "I'm glad you invited me." Da 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 da. And then when he comes down and talks to Ben Askren, he's like, "Man, I hate that guy, man. That
hate
guy
that
is
too.
a
I
tool.
hope you
That
knock him
guy
out.
is horrible. I hope you knock that guy out." And I'm just sitting there listening to it like, hey man, didn't you just say that you put money on Jake
I got money on you to
just
win.
just like
Oh
45 minutes
man,
ago?
what
Like
is
how you go back and forth? Seriously. How do
he?
you go back and forth?
The
And then
absolute worst. And then that
and
wasn't even the worst part of the show. It
what
was
was the
pretty
what
bad.
was the, what was the worst part of the show? Because I know what my idea of the worst part of the show was.
I'm gonna talk about the concert, and then we'll let you get into your. So listen to me when I tell you this.
How many daggone
How many? How many? It wasn't the concert aspect of it. It was the fact that they was like, hey, can we get Doja Cat? And then they was like, yeah, she's gonna be expensive. Whatever, pay her. All right, what do you want her to do? Which song do you want her to do? And then they was like, do you want her to do this
Oh,
one, this one, this one? She could do all of them. Okay, well, what about Bieber? He could do his whole album too. Well, what about Mount Westmore, bruh? Let every single one of them do their individual song, and then we'll get them all together, and then they could do a collective song. And I'm like, listen, when I tell you, I was watching Violent Bob Ross. He was fighting a UFC fight, and it had just started. And then the concert had started. And I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna watch this concert. I thought the main event was coming up. So then I flipped over, watched the whole Violent Bob Ross fight, came back, concert still going. I said, what is happening? It was, man, what a joke.
well, but this is what I think about Triller and what they did in that aspect of the game as of right now. I feel like they're trying to bring two crowds together. I feel like they're trying to bring those individuals who like music and like the artists, as well as they're trying to bring in boxing fans too, because they're trying to get some legit boxers on the card itself. But I feel like they're doing too much.
Here's it.
This promotion is doing too much, and when you start doing too much, you start losing legitimacy, and I
Here's the
feel like
thing.
they're just losing it, man. They just either do one or the other for me. And if
Yeah.
you do the other, don't do as much. You know what I'm saying?
Here's the thing. Here's the
Hit me with
thing.
a couple songs, then go to another fight. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah. Yeah. So here's the thing. So you got let's take a pool hall. Can you open a regular pool hall these days? Probably not. It'd be tough, right? But people open sports bars, they serve food, they got this, they got that, and they just happen to have a lot of really nice pool tables down there. People come in, they do their thing, they see the pool tables, they say, hey, I'll go play some pool. And it works, you know? So
Yeah.
that's kind of what I feel like they were trying to do. They're like, man, these people like this. Like, who is tuning in to watch the entire concert, but then tuning out for the fights until Doja Cat comes back on and then tuning back in?
I don't
Nobody.
know. I
Nobody.
don't know.
Now, if you give me a fight and then you give me a song, and then you give me a fight and then you give me a song, I can deal with it.
I can deal with that.
And
I
then
can
you
deal with
got
that.
other people, they might put up with the fights and they'll hear a song and that'll be okay. That's an extra population that you reach. But ain't nobody here was like, dang man, they got a concert going. Oh, there's a fight. Well, let me tune out and come back when the concert finished. Nobody.
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 So,
But
but
look,
what
man,
about your boy?
the Oscar De La Hoya was the worst analyst that I've ever heard in my life. Like, I think we could have done a better job, and we have not had any practice at going in front of a crowd or in front of a fight and actually analyzing it as it's going on. We've had the opportunity of analyzing a fight after it happened or analyzing a fight before it happens and giving our opinion about what's going to happen or what did happen. But Oscar De La Hoya, to be an actual boxer who has boxed in his lifetime, to go in and to sit in that chair and to say some of the dumbest things,
USSR.
USSR,
USSR.
and then
Soviet Union. I'm like, I don't know
and
if
then
that
for
was.
Mario and everybody to like, hey man, it's USA, man, USA. And then he just keep repeating USSR, USSR.
And then
And then he just yelling, let's go, let's go. And I'm just like, look, man, you're supposed to be here for legitimate commentary to give your opinion from your experience to let everyone know what you would do in this situation that the boxers are in at that point in time. Man. And then he was wishy washy too. He was going for Frank Mir, then he wasn't going for Frank Mir. I was just like, where you at, man? Are you on the fence? You don't even supposed to be on the fence. You're supposed to be an analyst. You're supposed to be in the middle.
he said USSR. They like, yo, that ain't even his nickname. It's just USS. My man was in the Navy. He's like Soviet Union. I'm sorry, what? No, which that and that wasn't even the sort of that was the worst part because it was pretty cringy. But
Yes.
one of the other bad parts is like they should have known to expect what they were going to get, and I don't know. Maybe he was drunk, so maybe that's why he went.
No, I think
He
he was high as heck.
he reverted back to like the kind of coaching days. All he doing was screaming like, "See, you got to go in, work the." And I don't even think he was on the mic. I'm pretty sure he was yelling to the people in the ring instructions on what to do. And then I'm pretty sure one of the corners for like Steve Cunningham, I'm pretty
Yes,
sure
was
one of
talking
his
back.
corners was talking back. So now we're having, what was it, $50? We
Yeah,
listening to a conversation
conversation. Yes,
between these people, bruh.
yes,
I was
bro.
like,
It was the dumbest thing I've ever heard in a long time, man.
that
Seriously.
blew my
And then
mind.
for Oscar De La Hoya to come back on Triller later on this year and box at 60. What is he? 56 or 65? I think he might be 56.
I would have to go with 56. I don't think he's that old.
I think he's 56-year-old, and he said he's gonna pick the right opponent or a good opponent to
Oh, he
fight.
48. What you talking about? 56?
No, he older than that. He
He
gotta
four.
be. He look older than that.
He
That's all I'm
four.
gonna say
He
about that situation.
48.
Man, I do, I do not want to watch Oscar De La Hoya fight. That's all I'm gonna say about that situation.
He may not
And
be that bad.
I'm gonna get off this topic, man, because I got so much more I can say about this guy, especially as a commentator and as a fighter. He was one of the top fighters in his days to go in. He was a person that was gritty, will put it to you. But as a commentator, he's the most horrible commentator I've ever heard in my life, man. But look,